Hey there, welcome to Coffee Break Plans. Today I'm going to talk you through how to build a Frankenplanner. First question, of course, is what is a Frankenplanner? And I bet quite a few of you have been doing it for many years without even realizing it. It's a mix and match system which stitches together various modules, sections, and inserts to create a custom planning system that suits you. So before we start, just a little warning here, Frankenplanning, depending on how you do it and what supplies and system you choose, it can end up requiring extra tools and supplies. I have done a best and worst of disc planning, which is one of the systems you can choose to do Frankenplanning. One of the disadvantages that I didn't really talk about in that video was that it has higher startup costs. You can't just buy a notebook and pen and get started. You need to buy a whole system instead. But I think, as I emphasized in that previous video, if you value flexibility, you cannot beat a Frankenplanner. However, if you've already clicked on this video, there's a good chance you're already thinking about it. So like Tommy and Gina, we are halfway there. So step one of building your Frankenplanner is to choose your base system. Now there are three basic systems of it. One of them is a traveler's notebook system, which I don't have an example of. But basically all it is a folder of some kind, usually in a long, narrow traveler's notebook size. And it has elastic bands in the middle. And you buy the traveler's notebooks and you slide them into the elastic band. Usually up to 2 or 3 notebooks will fit in any binder at any time. And each notebook is a different module. It doesn't allow for moving pages around, but it does allow for different modules. But what I'm going to focus on today are the ring binders and the discs. So a ring binder planner will often look like this. This is a Collins Debden planner. It's quite old, but you can also get Filofax and various other makes and models of these types of systems. And it's a 7 ring binder system. You can unclick it, take things out, and put it back together, and then move stuff around as much as you like. So, and this is what I mean when I say that many of us have been Frankenplanning using a system much like this before someone came up with the term Frankenplanning. Or you can use a disc system, and for example the Happy Planner, plum paper, cloth and paper all use the disc system. It's originally designed in Belgium, and now they're using all of these planning systems. Whichever you choose, remember you're going to need to be able to buy suitable inserts and or trim and punch the pages that you print yourself. So that might mean buying a punch, and of course this is a highly specialized punch. You don't just buy them anywhere. So choose a system that you can maintain, or try a cheaper system to start and try out. I've seen these 7 ring binders systems in the $2 shop with plenty of inserts and pages to choose from. So you can try out a not so expensive system if you're just giving it a go. Step 2 is to select your modules. Now this is where the planning side of the word comes in, and the sky really is the limit. Most people are going to want some kind of task and time management. I am using an example of a blank planner here, but I will do a flip through of my actual live Frankenplanner that I use each day. So you want a time and task manager of some kind. So you maybe want some monthly layouts, some weekly layouts. You can also get your daily layouts. If you're someone who sets goals, I think I have some examples here. You might want a module where you set and track all your goals. Other modules you can include is anything you can think of that you might want to do planning for: meal planning, fitness planning, wellness and training, budgeting. You can keep a journaling section in here if you want to do journaling, cleaning routines, projects. If you want to include your work section, you can do a work section in there. So you get all your modules of your life in one place. I also think it's really good, especially when you're just starting out, is to keep a module somewhere just for notes. So if you need to write something down in a hurry, you can quickly write the notes. You can always move those notes to a different section if they belong somewhere else, or you can discard them if you need to. You can have as many or as few modules as you want, as many as you can fit and carry. If you're starting out, don't worry about going a little bit crazy. You can always change and remove stuff as you go. That's the big advantage of this system. So step 3 is to select your module inserts. So you need to do a little bit of planning for this, and you can get your module inserts from any source you want that is in the appropriate size and layout to what you want to use. So you can buy your printed modules from places like Happy Planner, plum paper, cloth and paper, and they all have a large range of layouts and modules. They come already cut and disc punched, so you don't have to do that yourself. If you already have printed pages from those sources, and I have quite a lot of planners from the Happy Planner, you can reuse these and redate them. Or you can go to Etsy and find printables that suit your purposes. And the goals pages that you just saw, these are from Annalita Designs, for example. And I went to Etsy looking for goals layouts. I found the ones I wanted and I purchased them for about $5 for about 6 different layouts, and printed, cut, and punched them myself, and then put them into my goals module. You can draw and design your own on Canva and print them out. I tend not to do that because I find it just a little bit tiresome having to do it all from scratch. It just takes a bit more time than what I have. Somebody else has already done that for me on Etsy, so I tend to go to that. But if you're really creative and want to do that, on you go. Or you can get just plain paper, and I bought this, I think, off Amazon. It is dot grid paper. It's classic size, it's already punched in, it fits my disc system already, and I can use that to put together any kind of spread that I want, just like a bullet journal, and then I can use that instead of any other kind of pre-printed page if I decide to. Okay, we're on to step 4, and you may have noticed that I have changed the background, changed my nails, changed everything. This is a completely different day. My microphone died just as I was getting to the end of the previous recording of this video, and we had a cyclone bearing down upon us, so I didn't want to spend any more time videoing. I wanted to kind of get ready for that. So here I am another day, and I'm going to continue this video, so don't worry, you haven't side-slipped into a different universe. It's not the Mandela effect. Okay, step 4 is to find a way to distinguish between the different sections of your planner. So for me, I use top and side tabs. Other people may use top, side, and bottom tabs, or you may simply choose to just put clips in or some other means. When you have a lot of different modules, you need an easy way to find all your different modules. So if you have a look, I tend to use, as a general rule, although it's not hard and fast, my modules, I use top tabs. Then if I turn to my creative section, so the top tab is my module, so I can turn straight to this module, and then when I want to turn to a section within the module, I can turn to that. So if I'm wanting to look at what I need to do for my home, then I turn to here, and I have a set layout for my garden, and I think I have some other stuff in there as well, and then I have the rest of them here. Then I have my work module at the back, for example. I use bookmark top tabs to show where I am within the calendars that I have in here. So this is opened up to this week, so we're in April. Look at this, we've got from the end of Build a Frankenplanner. So I've turned directly to what I need to get done this week and or today. You pick the system that suits you and how you work. So the next step is to put everything together. Once you know what bits you want, what pages you're going to use, once you have them cut to size and all punched and ready to go, you're going to want to stitch it all together. And it's not until you get to this step that you realize that not everything fits together nicely exactly as planned. So you just move things around and adapt as you go, and you will find the right place for it. So I have a video of how I put together my blueprint for my Frankenplanner, and then I also have a video of how I constructed it once I had all the pieces that I needed. I will have those up in the cards, or I will link them at the end. Now your final step is to test and tweak. You need to use your planner for a while to see how everything is working. I recommend about 3 months. But if something is not working from the very start, take it out or you change it. And if something is really glaringly missing, you add it in. But I think 3 months gives everything a really good fair go to see if it works. And after that 3 months, you can have a bit of a refresh. So I am going to do a flip through of my planner, not of each page, but of each section. So you can kind of see how one looks when it's been put together. And there are plenty of examples of this on plenty of channels across YouTube. So feel free to go have a look. So I have 3 very small modules right at the front here. I have my future module, my lists, and my notes, and they are pretty much what they say. This is just the perpetual calendar that they have at the beginning of the Happy Planner. My lists are, again, exactly what it says. I just have some lists of things that I like to keep track of. And then I have my notes section, and this is just a whole bunch of note paper for me to quickly scribble any notes that I need to. So for example, here I have the Goodreads challenge for spring, and of course that's autumn for us down here. And for each of the challenges, I've just written down those books. So there's my notes section. I then have my calendar module, and I have 3 calendars, but I don't have a top tab because instead of using a top tab to turn to this module and then turn to these sections, I simply have a top bookmark that marks where today is. And likewise for my stress and health section as well, I have a bookmark that will open up directly to that. Otherwise, I'm going to go directly to my goals. I am going to be doing a goal setup video for Q3 and Q4 in the next month or so keep an eye out for that. But for now, I have my April tasks due this month, and then I have my creative module / projects module with all of my tabs down the side here where I can turn directly to all these bits and pieces. And at the back I have my work module and all my work pages in here, and I also have a top tab there that keeps track of what week I'm on. And right at the back, stashed just in case I need them, are some daily pages. When I have hectic days, I like to fill out a daily page and use that. Now, the layout that I have in here at the moment is not what it was when I started Frankenplanning about 8 months ago. I've constantly revised and reshaped and added bits in and taken bits out and changed it up as I go, and I tend to do that every single quarter. Like I said, I think it needs about 3 months for you to see if something is going to work or if it isn't. So that pretty much concludes how you put together a Frankenplanner. I hope this has been helpful. There are many, many resources for those of you who want to look at more. Otherwise, good luck with your Frankenplanning, and I will see you next time.